So on today's show, we're talking with Kathy Milam of the Alabama Gift Company and High Cotton Style. So Kathy, thanks for sitting down with us today.
Well, thank you.
So why don't you tell everybody how you got started?
Well, I started as a web-based business out of my house. I started as just made in Alabama products, and it was out of my house. I shipped, didn't have like door business or anything. So, and everything in the beginning was all made in Alabama products.
How do you find products that are made in Alabama? Because that's kind of tough.
Yeah. Well, when I first started out, my sister and I went just around the state and just met people and just looked at different things that I thought would be a fit as far as being able to mail it and, that people would like. And now it's just a lot of times people contact me or, I just kind of stay, in tune of, like new businesses and things like that.
So keeping your ear to the ground to find the latest products and all of that. So, because I know that can be tough too, and it's more stuff used to be made here, and unfortunately a lot of stuff isn't. But here we're kind of in a resurgence. There's a lot of stuff made not only in the state of Alabama, but here locally we've got a lot of products. So hearing that you started out of your home doing this and everything web-based, what was kind of that turning point where you decided to move into a store?
Well, my business was taking over my house.
That's
it
a
was
good reason.
Consuming my life and my house. So, and I actually had a friend that had a business here in this building, and she was closing, and she checked with me, and it's like, "Do you want this before?" I say I'm not going to, that I'm closing to the owner. So it was just a really door open that it's like, and the thing is, I wanted to be downtown. I live in the historic district downtown.
Yes.
My home's only, I think, 5 blocks from here, so so it's really close. But I just love being downtown. It was just where I wanted to be. I never thought about being anywhere else when I did open a storefront.
Yeah, because I know when you opened, everything was moving towards Rainbow Drive. Right. That was the hot new place where everybody's going into a strip mall. But being in this historic building, you get a few features that other businesses don't get. Like you've got exposed brick, you've got a lot of history. You're just not going to get that in a strip mall unless you pay somebody to come in and put exposed brick in.
Yeah, right. I mean, I love the look at it. We have tall ceilings and exposed beams and part of it. So I just love it. What I sell just fits in here. I think they just complement each other.
It does. Like the gift boxes are a curated selection, then all the downtown businesses are kind of a curated selection too. That it's a good representation of everything that Gadsden has to offer, and to me it's kind of the best of what Gadsden has to offer. When you come down here, this is kind of the way it should be, and you see all the different businesses. But it's great that you're all part of a community here in downtown Gadsden.
And that's right. I mean, like the 500 block where I am. I mean, right next door we have a coffee shop, then we have the olive oil company, there's Ladies Boutique, there's a children's store, there's a yarn shop, and right around us there's some of the best restaurants, a lot of places to eat. So we have an ice cream shop, like a sports place, just a lot of different things just right here in the 500 block. Yeah, the record. So there's just a lot of unique things here. And we're a family. We all belong to DGI, Downtown Gadsden.
Yes.
And so we meet usually monthly as retail people, and we just talk about what's coming up. We make plans together, and so we try to promote each other and do things where we're all involved, and it just helps all of us.
Yep, because I know one of the recent events was Flamingo. That was last week.
We had Flamingo, so it's a 2-day event where we stayed open a little bit late, and then people had sales, and they had drawings and giveaways. So it's always like a good summer event. Like there's not a lot going on, and it just draws people downtown.
It's nice because Kay was running a promotion that. If you went around, there were flamingos strategically placed at participating businesses. Right. So you take 3 selfies, upload them, and use a hashtag.
Right.
And it entered you for a drawing. So that's something you don't see in little downtown areas often.
Right.
So
yeah.
It was a great way to get people involved and kind of come in and say, hey, come in and take a look at our downtown businesses. Also staying open later like they do on First Friday. So.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's neat, and she does a wonderful job of supporting downtown, promoting downtown, keeping everybody kind of in one accord. So she does a fantastic job.
Yeah. it's a really big help to all of us. Just the cohesiveness of everybody know what everyone else is doing, and going alongside, helping with ideas and things like that is really good.
Exactly.
Right.
Out of all the products that you've got, where would somebody want to start if they want something that just says, this is peak Alabama?
As far as food or just anything in general?
Anything in general.
Well, the old reliable dirt shirt is still a popular thing. It's just, dyed in Alabama dirt, and it's what we have a lot of out-of-town, visitors in Gadsden that come by here, and they like the dirt shirt. But there's just such delicious food that they can get. And then I also have some different things as far as postcards, and I have a cutting board, have coasters, different things like that if they want something small to take back or to ship.
Yeah, and I've noticed the collection of mugs from all the different lakes across the state. And
right.
Being a nerd, I can follow all the way down through the Coosa River system.
Right.
So I think that's pretty neat. And those kind of go as a set, or
right.
Perfect for something at the lake.
And that's
house.
a local artist that does those.
Really? Where
yeah.
Who are they?
It's Bethany Vaughn. It's Vaughn at Home.
Okay.
And so she does, I have like Gadsden mugs in Alabama and lake mugs, and then she does one like for Tuscaloosa, Auburn, Jacksonville, UAB. So there's the schools, the lakes, and city and state.
Okay, so plenty need to choose from then.
Right.
And you carry stuff for both men and women here, which I think is kind of unique. Usually when you walk into a gift shop, it's very female focused, which is fine, is fine, but dads need gifts too, and men in our lives need gifts.
Right.
So that's good that you carry both of those.
Right.
You carry Duke Cannon stuff too.
I do, and it's not Alabama, but it's a customer favorite. People really like that, and men love it, and it's just a good thing that women pick up for gifts for, their husbands, friends, or whatever.
Okay. And usually when I'm in, I have to get a cup of O. Henry's coffee.
Right, we sell Henry's. I've sold O. Henry's since the beginning. I used to ship it as, it was on my website.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because there's so many different flavors. It's not something, usually when you go somewhere and get a coffee, then you're using kind of their house blend, and then you add flavor through creamer, through sugar, through anything like that. But the Henry's actually has a flavor on its own. So I tend to not take milk and sugar in my coffee. I tend to drink it black. So that's nice if you want to change it up a little bit, that it has those different flavors in there.
Well, a lot of people that always want sugar or creamer, once they taste O. Henry's, like a flavored O. Henry, then a lot of times they start drinking it black. That's kind of the beginning of people. It's like, well, I don't really need anything. It's just delicious. So,
really
they don't have to add anything to it.
What's your favorite flavor?
I like Jamaica Me Crazy. That's my favorite.
That is my favorite too.
Yeah.
There used to be a store in Birmingham years ago that sold bulk coffee by the pound. Blue Mountain coffee is the hardest stuff to find.
Right.
If you find it, it's usually a blend. Same for Hawaiian Kona coffee. It's always a blend, but they were one of the few places that actually carried Blue Mountain full bean stuff. And so every time I drink O. Henry's, it reminds me of just how good that stuff tastes.
Right. And this month we actually have Christmas in July, where we're selling O. Henry's Christmas blend coffee, which is, if I could sell it year round, it's a lot of people's favorite. So right now you can get Christmas blend.
Okay. And I know you have a bunch of seasonings, you have cookies, you also carry Priester's pecans, which is a local favorite. Yeah,
Priester's pecans since the beginning. So we do. You don't have to go to the beach and drive through Fort Deposit. You can come right here in Gadsden and get Priester's.
Yep, exit 141 off I-65.
Yeah, right.
That's a known thing. So, because I didn't know about it for years. We always went to Panama City. And so Panama City, you get off in Montgomery. You don't stay on 65 far enough to go through Fort Deposit. But if you're going to Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, if you're being proper Alabamian, then you have to go by Priester's.
You're going to have to go by Priester's, exactly.
Because you get Peaks Park, then you hit Priester's, and then your beach trip's complete.
Yes,
carrying
they're
legendary.
Down there
into Florida. Oh my goodness, yes. It's as close as you can get to New Orleans style pralines.
Right.
So, fun story. Me and my wife went to New Orleans a few years ago. A friend of ours had a condo in Orange Beach, and we went down to stay with them for the weekend. And I said, she'd never been to New Orleans. So I said, well, let's go. Let's just take a day trip. So we pile into a Ford Excursion and drive down Canal Street in New Orleans. We got there just before the rain started, and right as the rain, and if you've never been to New Orleans, when it rains down there, it nearly floods, especially in these summer-type thunderstorms. So we got caught in one of those, and the closest building to us was a praline shop that was giving away free samples.
Oh, wow.
They had air conditioning, and they were high and dry, so we stayed in there for the duration of the rain and enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's one of the favorites. One of my favorites too. I love them.
Oh, they're wonderful. They're wonderful. So I know too you carry a lot of seasonings because food really kind of is the centerpiece of culture here.
Right.
If anything, because we have a great restaurant culture, we have nationally known restaurants here in the state. So things like Dreamland Barbecue, love a barbecue in the state. So a lot of your seasonings go along with that, and that's a good curation. And it starts from right here in Rainbow City. So we've got one maker right here in town, and then it expands out to the rest of the state.
Right. And they're good sellers. I mean, like my Dixie Dirt. I send it all over the country,
Yes.
People hear about it. I know the Brenda Gant show, once she promoted it, it was just like, and it was during COVID when containers were hard to get and everything. So he struggled to produce it, but it's still a popular one. I'm
learning about Brenda Gant too. I do a little bit of cooking myself, but yes. Yeah.
She puts her name on it and it sells.
Pretty much, and that's kind of a new sales technique too, is latch in with an influencer, get that product placement, and a lot of times they'll do it. Doing it on a large scale, they want some money to change hands, but if you've got somebody local, somebody southern that understands all of that, they will help you out, and that I appreciate. That's a great thing where somebody will come in and do that for you.
Right.
And so you've also got cookies, you've also got a few other things too. 1818 Farms?
We have 1818 Farms that does really well. We have boll weevil soap, Fairhope bath bombs, so a lot in that kind of area. And then as far as foods, we have things like Betsy's cheese straws. We have cheesy, we have nutty, we sell peanuts from Alabama, and then we also sell like crackers that are hot and spicy, and we actually sell some mixes we made that's out of Birmingham. And so it's like pound cake and hummingbird cake, and just really good mixes that you can make. In fact, we're going to sample some in the store today.
That's right. Today is First Friday.
First Friday.
Incidentally, you may not be seeing this on First Friday, but today is First Friday. So that's great because the businesses downtown stay open a little bit later, and that's great where you get a chance to see these, working during the day. Then you can walk around town, see all the custom cars, and I think the first time I ever walked in here was on a First Friday.
Right. It's an opportunity. We stay up and late for people that work that can't get here. I close at 5:30, but still it cuts it close, so they're able to come, downtown, because most stores stay open until 9.
Yeah. And it's one of the few days you have classic cars parked out front.
We do.
And you can really get a sense of all the businesses as a community, because if you come down on a weekday, you're trying to find a parking spot.
Right. No, you don't look for a parking place on Broad today. You are off. Everybody's off Broad.
Everybody's off Broad today. So, a little bit of walking involved, but still, it's worth the trip, and it's a great thing. So
it is. It's a great thing. July is usually a really good First Friday.
So what kind of food samples are you going to have this evening?
We're having some pound cake from We Made. We're having some a turtle cheesecake, cheese ball. We're having Betsy's cheese straws. We're having some Ravens raspberry jalapeno over cream cheese.
Oh, pepper jelly. Nice. One of my favorites.
Yeah. So some really good things. Some Mama's Secret cookies.
Yes. Yes, always familiar with Mama's Secrets.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that you're actually 2 stores in one. So you do have Alabama Gift Company, and that's been most of the conversation thus far. But on the other side, you have High Cotton Style. So tell us a little bit about it.
Well, everything was Alabama, and then I started like painting some furniture and bringing things in for displays, and everybody wanted to buy my displays,
Wow.
So, it's like I couldn't keep up with that. So finally I thought, well, I'll sell furniture. So I started bringing some furniture in, and, eventually we had to tear the wall in between 2 buildings, and we expanded, so we doubled our space. But then it finally was furniture. Then I had to have lamps to sit on it and lighting, so we started selling chandeliers and lamps and different kind of lighting. And then it just grew to like tabletop things, and
This beautiful
still a
place
lot of gift items. And so we have Southern Jubilee glasses that are just beautiful. So, just a lot of tabletop things and more gift things, not, made in Alabama, but just great gift ideas.
Yes. And what I like about this, typically if you go into a home store, you're looking at an example sitting on a shelf with a box behind it. So if you like the piece, you buy the box. I like this because you can see everything as one unit. So everywhere you go in the store is a display. It's almost like a little corner of your house, but typically you don't see home goods display. You see furniture laid out like that. You go in a furniture store and everything's, this is what your bedroom could look like. This is, except for people walking by all the time. But here you get a chance to see everything kind of laid out and arranged and see that it's cohesive. So that's kind of unique here in town.
And it's a good thing because sometimes people really need help putting things together. And so sometimes I'll have something set out with lamps and whatever, and they'll just say, I just want that whole thing. I want it to look like that. So, and it helps. I mean, some people know what they like. Some people just need to see it. And so we try to arrange some things so they'll know how they can use it and how it would look best, But I still direct people that, it's their home. It needs to look like what they want and that they're going to be comfortable in it. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, but it kind of helps them to kind of see how we lay it out.
It is, and everything kind of has a southern charm to it too, so that's much appreciated because decor does vary by region.
Right,
and so we almost have a unique southern style.
And we do. We say it's kind of more of a southern style.
So imagine if having all of these home goods, you would make the perfect place to have a bridal or shower registry.
Right, and we do. We have a registry. We say it's not just for brides because we have ladies that come in and they pick out several things, and it's like, I can't get everything today, but I wish my husband knew about this, or my kids never know what to get me. So we let anybody register. And then, if family comes in, we'll say, well, they'll say, I don't know what to get her, and we'll say, well, let's see what she registered for. And then it's just a great place for brides because we do have, tabletop things, and they're even registering for home decor. So it's we've got a little bit of everything. So it's a good place to register.
And that's a little bit different because I would think of it for a bride or for that, but for letting anybody register, that's kind of unique. I don't know of a lot of people that do that.
Right, and we have some people husbands that know that we know what their wife likes and or their friends like, so they'll come in here, and it got to the point where we couldn't remember everything, so we just let them, we just have a page and they register and we know what they like, so it makes it a little bit easier.
Definitely does make it easier.
Right.
And for people that come into the store and see all the great stuff and can't decide, you actually do a curated gift box.
We do. We have a made in Alabama gift box, and the way we design it, everything in there is made in the state of Alabama.
Yes.
And it's in a pretty box, and we make it very pretty and put the sizzle in it and the items, and we ship it anywhere.
I didn't know that had a technical term.
Yeah. And then people come, and it's really great for people. It's like, I don't know what to get them. They have everything, or I don't know them really well, so what could we get? So it's a really great idea for a lot of different people. And we also have a breakfast box where we put like McEwen and Sons grits.
Has to have grits and anything breakfast related.
Right. And so we have some mixes and some honey and some different things that we can put together for a breakfast box too.
So what's the farthest away you've sent one of those boxes?
Let's see. I really send a lot to California, New York, Michigan, New Jersey we get a lot. So it's just everywhere.
They need all the help they can get.
It's just everywhere.
Wow. So a little piece of Alabama coming from this store all across
anywhere,
to the other parts of the country. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You also sell jewelry, and you sell a few other things too.
We do. It's just kind of a side thing, but people enjoy our jewelry. It's not, it's a lot of things that price-wise is reasonable, and so a lot of people come in and grab some earrings or whatever. And we do have some nicer, like sterling silver jewelry, but we just have a selection that's just, and we try to change it out seasonally too.
Okay. So why don't you tell everybody where you're located and what your hours are?
Okay. At 528 Broad Street, and my hours are Monday through Friday, 10 to 5:30, Saturday 10 to 4, and then like special events like today, First Friday, will be open until 9 o'clock.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you for sitting down with us this morning and telling us all about your store.
Well, thank you.